What's up, guys? In today's video we're going to be talking about how I became a god at COD, and this is going to be the Warzone edition. Now, a lot of people ask me every single day, especially randoms or people who I actually have just now started playing with, people like that are like just new to the group or anything like that, anybody that's new that I play with that don't actually know me, they ask me all the time, how is your aim so good? How are you this good at COD? How do you have so many wins? How is your KD like this? What do you do differently? What are your setups? Everything like that. Literally every single person I've ever come in contact with or even met have asked me one of these questions, and honestly, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, I'm not trying to sound cocky, but I'm trying to pass some of these tips along with you guys today to help you guys get better at Warzone or to improve your gameplay altogether at Call of Duty. So before we get to that, I want you guys to subscribe if you're new around here, to drop that thumbs up on today's video, and then I want you to comment down below and tell me what you think about the video, and tell me what you think about the actual tips that I'm giving to you guys, and if you have any more tips that you would like to share with anybody down in the comments down below that actually help you be better at COD, then share those down in the comments below, and I will heart the ones that I actually agree with. Much love once again, guys. Let's get right into this. So the first thing that I want to say is if you're trying to get better at COD, you gotta snort 4 lines of G Fuel before you get on Call of Duty every single. I'm just kidding. No, but in all honesty, the number one tip that I have to give to you guys at getting better at Call of Duty would be your actual settings. Your settings make a huge difference in your actual gameplay for Call of Duty, and people don't take this for, I guess you would say, granted. I don't know, or maybe they take it for granted. I don't know how to explain it, but like, I think the number one thing that you guys need to mess with is your settings. Now, the number one thing as well in the settings you need to mess with is your sensitivity. Now, if you have a slower sensitivity, your player is going to be having, I guess you would say, less recoil issues, or I guess I'd say less issues with trying to keep your aim on track. The recoil is going to be the same no matter what, but I'm talking about like the aim on track thing would be the biggest thing. But it's going to be moving around like your player has a broken neck, and honestly, that's not cool. So let's just say, for instance, let's give a scenario. If you have a person in front of you, you're killing them, and you down them, great, because your aim's on track. What are you going to do if somebody starts shooting at you from behind whenever you're trying to turn, like, hold on, please hold, I need to turn around real quick to fight you? You can't be like that. In order to get good at Call of Duty, you have to actually allow yourself to learn and train yourself to play better on a higher sensitivity. Because if you allow yourself to play on a higher sensitivity long enough, you're going to get used to it, you're going to start playing better on it, and you're going to start noticing that you're turning on people more, you're actually able to play quicker in gunfights, you're able to snap on people easier, like, the flicks, everything like that, it's a lot easier on a higher sensitivity. Now, in this year's Call of Duty, they're kind of babying you with the aim assist as well, especially if you're on console. So they have, I think, 3 different options. I think it's standard, it's something else, it's precision, and then it's focusing. I think it's honestly the standard, precision, and focusing. I could be wrong, but anyways. But the best one to be running as of right now on this year's Call of Duty, in my opinion, is focusing, because it gives you the strongest aim assist, especially whenever you're like just aiming down, like you have like an enemy near you. This is by far the best advantage to have over Warzone, because a lot of players in Warzone are actually using this in their settings, believe it or not. A lot of people as well as on my friends list also use precision, but I prefer focusing. It's just, honestly, it just puts you at an unfair advantage almost. It's kind of crazy. But no matter what, I guess you'd say aim assist I put it on, I normally play really well, and it's because I've been playing shooters for pretty much all of my life. I've been playing Call of Duty for all of my life. No matter what kind of game I've been playing, it's been some kind of shooter. So honestly, over the years, you just kind of get used to, I guess you'd say, keeping your aim on track, or just like the whole, I guess you'd say, scenario and strategy of a shooter game. So my best thing is, if you're new to actual shooters, or if you're trying to get better at playing a shooter game, start practicing yourself and start putting yourself at a disadvantage and challenge yourself. The more that you challenge yourself, the better. Because if you're challenging yourself against harder situations, it teaches your brain to how to adapt to those situations later on whenever you don't have control over them. So if you put yourself in a custom game against some harder bots, and let's just say put it on headshots only, or if you do something like that, it helps get your aim on point for that day. Do that every single day and watch yourself see some improvement, especially in Warzone when it comes to hitting your shots. Because if you're going against a harder level bot, especially even on veteran, because those things have aimbot almost, it's kind of crazy, those things will actually help you improve your aim and honestly improve your gameplay altogether, because it teaches you to play more careful, it teaches you to keep your aim on track, and it teaches you to flick better and have a higher reaction time. But at Warzone, how I started getting better at Warzone was honestly learning to play aggressive. So when you play aggressive in Warzone, it puts you in more gunfights. It puts you in people's faces a lot more. So when you're playing aggressive in Warzone, it's putting you in those scenarios where you're needing to learn and to adapt. Every single time you take a death in Warzone, I don't care if it's the first death where you're going to gulag, if it's the second death where you're out of the game. I don't care what it is. Take a second out of your time, look at the bigger scenario, look at the bigger picture here, and learn why you died and learn from it. Think about in your head the different paths you could have taken. Think about what you could have done differently and try to learn from it. So that way, if you're in the same or a similar situation later on, you know how to handle it and you can try out different things until it works for you. So my biggest tip as well is if you see an enemy to your left in Warzone, what is your main thing you're going to do? You're going to spray him. Okay. But what are you going to do whenever he notices you? Are you going to keep peeking left or are you going to try to switch up your path? If your enemy sees you on the left as well, you're not going to want to continue to stay in the same spot. You want to try to stay moving. I can't even talk. You want to try to stay moving. The more movement you have to your character, the better it is whenever it comes to a gunfight because they don't know where to shoot. They don't know where you are. They're losing sight of you. They don't know what you're going to head glitch next. They don't know what you're going to hide behind next. You're trying to stay moving. You're trying to stay bobbing and weaving. And it puts you at an advantage over the enemy because they don't know where to spray or shoot or even aim, but you know exactly where they are, especially if they're just standing still like a recruit bot. Another thing as well, man, if you're comfortable with snipers and stuff like that in Warzone, more power to you. Amazing. Great job, guys. Awesome. I love you guys. It's great. I like using snipers sometimes too, but honestly, it's just against my playstyle because I like to play really, really aggressive, and I like to use an AR sub combo. So if you're like a really aggressive player, switch up and use AR sub. Use whatever the heck you want to use. I'm not going to tell you. It's just my preference in general. I like to use the CR56 with the MP5, but some people could say like I like to use the Grau or the MP5, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to use it. But play more aggressive doing it. So another thing as well is play your gunfights more strategic. You will never see me pushing a gunfight in the open without cover in front of me. Now sometimes whenever I'm trying to get a flank around, yes, I'm going to be out in the open, blah, 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 because the enemy doesn't see me. But if I'm one-on-one with an enemy or one-on-three with an enemies, I guess you'd say, you're never going to see me out in the open with no cover. Always have cover in front of you whenever you're doing a gunfight as well. It could be a rock, it could be a tree, it could be anything. And another thing as well, people don't take advantage of the mounting system in this Modern Warfare or Warzone. The mounting system helps a lot when it comes to recoil, especially at distance or even medium range. Whenever it comes to beaming somebody, I'm telling you, mounting is by far a better way to go about situations, especially in gunfights. You'll see me mounting trees, you'll see me mounting walls, you'll see me, anything that you see in front of me, I'm always keeping an object in front of me, but I try to mount it to keep my accuracy 100% at all times so I can get those easy headshots, these easy knocks, and those easy finishes. My number one tip that I can give you two guys about the whole, I guess you'd say, getting better at COD and stuff like that with the whole movement thing as well, it also boils down to what kind of controller you have. So right now I'm rocking a Scuff Elite, and this basically has paddles on the back to where I can literally just press the A button or whatever. I can map it to whatever buttons I want, and it basically makes it to where I don't have to take my thumbs off my thumbsticks whenever I'm in the middle of a gunfight. I can just be pressing my paddles in order to help me do whatever the heck I need. So for instance, on my left paddle I have the A button, and on my right paddle I have the slide button or the crouch button. So whenever I'm in a gunfight, you'll see me like crouching up and down nonstop, like repetitively over and over and over and over again while I'm spraying and shooting. And what that does is it makes the enemy have to panic, and they don't know what part of my body that they're trying to hit. So you're going to see them just, most of the time on my kill cams, I see the enemy just spraying nonstop up and down in an up and down pattern, because literally when I duck like crazy over and over again. So the more you're moving in a gunfight, the more that you're putting in, I guess you'd say, ducking, jumping, whatever the heck you're doing, drop shotting, jump shotting, whatever the heck it is, it puts you at an advantage over your enemies, so start practicing that as well. Even if you're on a normal controller and you're not on a Scuff or an Elite or anything like that, start practicing on a normal controller. And for instance, I'd say like playing Claw does help, but you don't have to play Claw. I guess the number one thing whenever you're on a regular controller would be to play on Tactical, which is whenever you put one of your thumbsticks, like when you press it in, R3, or if you're basically just pressing in your thumbstick, it makes it to where you crouch or lay down. I guess you'd say like that's one of the best ways to do it if you're trying to drop shot. But if you're trying to jump shot, I guess you'd say just start getting the habit of basically just jumping and instantly going back to your thumbstick. I had to master that back in the day. But all you have to do is literally just press A, jump back to your thumbstick, press A, jump back to your thumbstick, press A, jump back to your thumbstick. Literally, if you can master the certain things of jump shotting or drop shotting, especially even with the normal controller, I promise you, you're going to get better out there. You're noticing your aim improving. You're noticing that you're dying less because you're putting more movement into your body, more cover in your face, stuff like that. take these tips and use them to your advantage. The number one, as I said, was the settings. The settings. That is by far the number one tip, as I said at the beginning of the video, is your settings. So make sure you guys play at a higher sensitivity if you can. Work your way up. If you're playing at a low sensitivity and you can't just get used to a high one, start working your way up. I'd say go up by 2 at a time. So if you're playing on a 4, move up to a 6. Once you get used to the 6, move up to an 8. Once you get used to the 8, move up to a 10. And then once you get to like around a 10 to a 12, I think you're pretty decent. Like, you should be all right to be flicking on people. That's around like the whole area where it's just like it starts getting, I guess you'd say, enough to where you can flick. It's from 10 to 12. So anyway, so let me know in the comments if any of these tips have helped you out, or if you're going to be trying any of these tips for yourselves and actually trying to improve at Call of Duty. Anyway, guys, much once again, peace.